Good morning, good afternoon, and good day, everyone. It is time to connect and welcome to this Alliance event. My name is Michelle Mandela Freeman, and I'm the head of marketing for the Alliance, and I'll be your host and MC today. We are here today to share some news and have a good discussion. We are going to start today with our president and CEO, Tobin Richardson, providing some updates and news about the Alliance and about Project Connected Home over IP. We'll then hear from a few of our members directly. We'll switch to a panel discussion moderated by Carolina Milanesi, who is the president and principal analyst at Creative Strategies. And after the panel, we'll have a quick wrap up and then we'll send you on your way to enjoy the rest of your day. As we start, let me first share our participants today. In addition to myself, Tobin, and Carolina, you'll have an opportunity to hear from a number of our member companies who are both deeply involved in the Alliance and also in Project CHIP. From business leaders to technology leaders from across the US, Europe, and China, these individuals have led their companies' efforts to knock down the barriers to IoT adoption and to create better IoT experiences for their customers, for consumers, and for users. They've not only led their teams, but they've invested their own time and energy to make this alliance and the IoT industry better for everyone. I know you'll enjoy hearing from them today. And now I'd like to introduce Tobin Richardson. As president and CEO of the Alliance since 2013, he is leading our mission to simplify and harmonize the IoT. Under his leadership, we launched this first of effort to bring together brands large and small to create a standard intended to knock down the walled gardens of the IoT, our very own Project CHIP. Tobin also sits on the World Economic Forum's Council on the Connected World as chair of the WEF's initiative focused on strengthening collaboration. I'll now turn things over to Tobin so he can talk to you a bit more.
Thanks, Michelle, and welcome everyone. It's great to have everybody joining today, and thanks so much for taking the time to join us on some really exciting news. Today, there are more connected devices than people in the world. IDC says we'll see over 41 billion IoT devices connected by 2025. Post-COVID, the IoT will be a key enabler for new ways of working and living. This is great news for companies that design and build IoT products and solutions. But for that growth to truly materialize and to do so in a way that creates not just good business for enterprise, but good value for the users of the IoT, there are some fundamental challenges. The enclaves of innovation that kickstarted the IoT are now becoming islands of technology fragmentation and complexity. For business, this complexity means reduced opportunity and potentially higher costs. For the consumers and users of the IoT, it means less choice and frankly, more confusion. Layer on top of this challenges of trust and security, where according to a 2020 digital attitudes report from .everyone, only 19% of people believe tech companies are designing products and services with their best interests in mind. Or where according to Consumers International, 63% of people think their connected devices are creepy, and where just over half say they do not trust devices to handle their information respectfully. Some clear progress has been made over recent years, but the global standards landscape remains fragmented and development for companies remains confusing and costly. And for consumers who seek greater connectivity, accessibility, security, and equity, the world of IoT is still pretty knotted up. In our view, the IoT is then at a tipping point. If silos and walled gardens prevail, in the short term, IoT will remain the purview of the techno-savvy and benefits will accrue to the few. We believe that by creating an environment where even the most fierce competitors can work together, we can deliver greater benefits to all. We can speed innovation and development of IoT. We can lower barriers to purchase and increase IoT adoption. We can increase market growth and specifically growth for our members. And we can increase value to customers, consumers, and users who are at the heart of what we do. We know this can be done. For nearly 20 years now, our members have been on this mission to unravel the complexity of the IoT. From our origins with 16 member companies in 2002 to today's organization of over 350 members across 37 countries, we are committed to building the foundation and charting the future of the IoT, driven by global open standards that allow all objects to securely connect. So let's talk about the results of those efforts and our continued expansion. We have grown and evolved substantially since our origins through our members' efforts. First, we've expanded our working groups. We have and will continue to develop Zigbee as a key IoT solution with additional protocols for smart energy and green power. And of course, we have Project CHIP launched in 2019, building our latest IP-based IoT protocol standard. And we have a working group focused on a common data model across our protocols. We have a strong member base with continued growth. More than 20% of our members have been with us a decade or more. With Project CHIP, we added 110 new members, including 30 just this calendar year. Our certification efforts have expanded as well. With 3 programs, Certified Devices, Certified Platform, and Certification Transfer programs, we've seen a 30% increase in certification year over year. We're already on incredible pace in 2021. Our global reach is broad and deep, built on years of trust and collaboration. Our member group China continues to evolve and lead with some of the biggest brands like Huawei, Xiaomi, Haier. And our European interest group is thriving with 40% of our members European-based. Finally, our mission and message has permeated the value chain and IoT industry segments. From silicon, ecosystems, and devices, we've seen membership expand across connected home, building, and retail, and more. And as our members continue to pull on these threads of how can we make the IoT better, more secure and accessible, how can we reduce complexity, and how can we increase adoption, there are even more areas that require our organizations and members' attention. And regulatory and policy to create greater understanding and alignment between policymakers and commercial markets, especially in the shaping of regulatory frameworks, so we can see global use of open standards rather than creating regional or country-based IoT islands. In corporate social responsibility and especially sustainability, how can we look to create infrastructure for sustainable IoT through standards? For instance, in IoT devices, energy, and resource management, so that as we connect more, we waste less. In diversity, equity, and inclusion, with standards and specifications forming the basis of developer work worldwide, how can we better reflect that diversity both inside our working groups and in what we deliver? Our own DEI efforts are focused on tackling that challenge today, starting with what we say and how we say it. In security, where will we continue our work in evolving IoT security standards with our members and other organizations like the Internet of Secure Things or IOXT? And of course, in new areas of technology standards development, where we will continue to provide an environment where industry competitors can work together to create what's next in open IoT standards, from continuing to develop the common data model for the IoT to emerging areas like digital credentials and access. To that end, the Alliance has started work with the World Economic Forum's Council on the Connected World, and we are championing one of their 5 global action plan areas in strengthening collaboration, where we are chartered to help scale world-leading initiatives, moving the Alliance into a wider role for interoperability standards and trustworthy IoT. So again, this isn't the Alliance from 2002. It's a stronger, more expansive organization built on a solid foundation where Zigbee is but one of our protocols and our members are paving the way for the future of IoT. We are a global unifying organization with expert members and staff guiding the IoT forward, focused on simplifying and harmonizing standards and reducing fragmentation in a unique environment where companies and competitors of all types from all industries work together, all to create a better, more connected world. And it's time our name and identity reflect this. With that, we are thrilled to announce our new name and identity, the Connectivity Standards Alliance. Created with our members and in partnership with Interbrand, this name is a clear reflection of who we are and what we are here to do as an industry organization, a standards development body, and as colleagues looking to connect the world. And with our new name comes several special visual elements. First, a new color palette that is a reference to the visual lexicon of blueprints, reflecting our role in developing the future of the IoT, and with imagery that highlights the people and devices that the Alliance connects in an honest and approachable way. You'll see our new monogram, a shorthand for the Alliance and CSA, which includes a unique connector between the S and the A, representing the coming together of the diverse companies that make up the Alliance and the products and devices that we connect. And finally, to represent our role as a connector of ideas and people, Interbrand created the font Assemble, which has 127 unique ligatures that join specific characters together, instantly turning any headline copy into a simple but powerful branded moment. We're immensely proud of this new name that reflects our and our members' current and future ambitions. Speaking of these ambitions, let's now dive into our next topic. As you all know, Project Connected Home over IP was the ambitious brainchild of the Alliance and a number of our members to solve some of the biggest challenges facing the IoT today. We've named a few: disconnected platforms and disparate development paths for developers, walled gardens limiting choice for consumers, platform islands causing challenges for market growth overall. Our focus was to bring together the largest ecosystem players with the power of our IoT member community to tackle this head on by creating an IP-based standard that firstly is based on the language of the internet, by accelerating the start of this new standards work through contributions from key ecosystem providers, and by taking a new implementation-first approach that would result in faster time to market for the spec itself and more useful outcomes for developers. Through the development of this standard, our expectation was that we would in fact address these pain points for developers, customers, retailers, builders, consumers, and users. So here we are, from vision to reality in record time. It's been 18 months since we announced Project CHIP. At that time, we started with an agreement with a few key companies, contributions from existing ecosystems and from the Alliance to accelerate that process, and an ambitious charter aligned with even more member companies on board. Fast forward to today, and we now have over 1,700 people across 180 organizations working in technology, marketing and product, and certification, with 30 subcommittees and tiger teams, and the impressive commitment and passion of our members. Through their efforts, we can now say we have a clear view of the first wave of devices: lighting and electrical, HVAC controls, access controls and security, window coverings and shades, TVs, access points, bridges, and more. Test events are in process, which will continue for the next several months. A code-first approach unique for a standards group with over 3,000 commits in GitHub today. And I'm happy and excited to announce a new milestone achieved. Just this month, the feature complete base specification was approved by the working group. While there's still much to be done, this gives our members what they need to continue open source development and to further test the specification. This is an important milestone as we continue towards our target to see first devices by the end of 2021. To put all this in perspective, standards development efforts can normally take 3 years, even 4 or longer. We are poised not just to have a spec, but to have first certifications in 24 months. This team is really setting the standard for standards development and delivery. So here we are, now ready to connect this vision and this reality to a promise for developers, customers, consumers, and users alike. A promise of simplicity with products that are easy to purchase and where we help simplify the connected experience. Interoperability, where devices from multiple brands can work together, where you are not bound by the ecosystem you've selected. Reliability, with an IP-based standard developed and certified within a community, you can count on a level of consistency and responsive local connectivity. And of course, security, foundational to our design, robust and streamlined for developers and users. What a promise indeed. Said simply, shouldn't our devices just work with another? And just imagine, no more silos, no more walled gardens, no more will this work with that. The idea is simple. The impact is powerful. We call it Matter, and it's what connects the world. Welcome to Matter, our new brand name for Project CHIP and the second piece of news we're announcing today. Matter is a common foundation built into smart devices, allowing them to interact seamlessly, reliably, and securely. As an industry unifying technology, Matter will create a smart world greater than the sum of its parts, with new experiences for the user and new opportunities for developers. Matter is more connections between, more objects, more ways to keep smart homes and buildings humming, more time for developers to focus on innovation. Breakthrough connectivity is made of Matter. Visually, we are really excited about the Matter mark. The symbol itself is geometric, suggesting simplicity, and symmetrical, suggesting balance. The 3 nodes reflect interoperability and equality of use, as Matter can be used with multiple product ecosystems. As something we expect to last for many, many years, we believe it is a timeless symbol. Along with the mark, the name was selected for its foundational nature. Matter is atom-like, a building block for life, and for us, a building block for the IoT. In addition, we took a multicolored gradient approach that is evocative of dynamic connections between products and product brands, agnostic of all, but constantly changing to suggest movement of data between the products in use. The result is a brand that really feels alive. The brand and our ratified draft spec are exciting milestones for us. It allows us to communicate and bring to life the unique features and benefits of Matter to our stakeholders. For consumers, it means you can buy the smart products that best fit your needs, products of any brand with a Matter mark. And with multi-admin, it means you can connect Matter devices to multiple apps and ecosystems, locally, securely, and even now, simultaneously. For developers, you can speed the development process, one protocol across ecosystems and across multiple physical layers. Matter is secure. It uses modern security practices and protocols and takes a secure by design approach. And you get the benefit of a member-developed standard. With Matter, you have a community of support. At retail, you can cut down on duplicate products with only one Matter SKU needed across ecosystems. And with less concern about ecosystem compatibility, you can expect fewer issues and returns. And for those looking to build with smarts, apartments, hotels, commercial buildings, Matter makes a difference. You get a common IP-based application layer able to run on Wi-Fi, Thread, and Ethernet. And when you build with Matter, your tenants' devices will be able to connect and communicate regardless of the underlying ecosystem. We think this is all something really special. A new name and bold voice for the Alliance, aligned with our expansion to a multi-standard global leadership position in the IoT. And our IP-based protocol, now called Matter, having reached another milestone with a ratified draft spec, changing how developers create products and improve how customers, consumers, and users experience the IoT. But really, as an industry organization, it's our members who are at the forefront of these changes and developments. So let's hear from them. Michelle?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tobin. And now we will be hearing from some of those members with their views on Matter, the Alliance, their companies, and our work together. We're also going to share a couple of short videos along the way, highlighting some of the key benefits of Matter to consumers, developers, and builders. But to kick us off, I'd like to introduce Chris Disenzo. Chris is a senior leader at Amazon, championing the design and development of consumer and customer-centric Alexa smart home solutions. He's been instrumental in the evolution of both cloud and in-home device communication technologies at Amazon. He serves as Amazon's representative on the CSA's board, and he is also the chair of the Matter Working Group Steering Committee. Chris.
Thank you, Michelle. Hello, everybody. Today, millions of customers around the world rely on Alexa as their favorite way to control more than 140,000 Alexa-compatible smart home products. And we're committed to continuing to make smart home connections easier for customers. We've seen success driven by millions of Zigbee devices in the market. Adding Zigbee to Echo and Eero products has made it easier for customers to connect their smart devices and for device makers to build Alexa-connected devices that our customers want. We hope that Matter will one day achieve similar success. The Matter Working Group presents a new opportunity to further simplify development for device makers and add to the customer experience in future generations of smart home devices. As a board member and a longtime contributor to the Zigbee Alliance, we're excited to see participation from so many companies in this project. Matter is not just another protocol reset to subject end users to, where they need to throw out their old stuff and buy new stuff. But instead, it's designed to build upon existing investments that consumers and companies have made. For example, Matter runs on Wi-Fi devices, which today make up a huge portion of the smart home devices that people are buying. Matter can provide secure and reliable local connectivity for many of these existing devices, enabling voice control and ambient interactions to be faster and work even when the internet connection is down. Speaking of existing devices, millions of homes are already using a number of different smart home protocols to provide lighting, home security, and other functions. We expect many of these existing hubs to become certified Matter bridges, which can allow devices in any protocol to be controllable from the Wi-Fi network as virtual Matter devices. In this way, Matter can be used to bridge together the many different systems that people have in their homes today. We see Matter as the evolutionary next step, which consumers and businesses can adopt without needing to abandon or break their existing investments. We don't believe consumers are asking for a 15th walled garden protocol for light bulbs. Our observation has been that people want products that are easy to use, build upon what they already have, and can interoperate with their favorite systems at the same time. Their favorite voice service, TV, lighting, HVAC, and security systems, among others. At Amazon, we feel strongly that participating in the development of an open standard is needed to lower costs for device makers and increase compatibility for consumers. Now back to you, Michelle.
Thanks so much, Chris. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Jim Kitchen. Jim is the VP for Product for Connected Home and IoT devices at Comcast. His teams are responsible for all of the IoT and automation devices on Comcast's national Xfinity Home and Xfinity automation deployments. Prior to this, Jim was a co-founder of iControl, the leading smart home security and automation platform acquired by Comcast in 2017. Jim's been working with the Alliance since 2007, when Zigbee was adopted as a key technology for some of the largest systems deployments in the world. Jim brings a unique perspective to our board, representing the views of service providers and operators in the IoT space. Jim?
Great, thanks, Michelle. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. It's exciting to be a part of the announcements for the CSA and all the work we've been doing together on the Matter protocol. Connectivity is core at Comcast. We are laser focused on creating the best secure connectivity experiences for our customers. And that includes our X5 broadband platform and our suite of connected home products like Xfinity Home. We've been building great IoT experiences for our customers for years, and our longstanding work with the Alliance has really been valuable in helping to inform that work. We work with many standards groups like CSA across the country and around the world, and we find that this collaboration really helps us accelerate the pace of innovation and continues to create the best experiences for our users. The Matter protocol is another example of that work, and we believe this will help to drive a new level of unification into the IoT space. We continue to focus on making the best products and simpler and more reliable and relatable for our customers. We want devices that are easier to get started with and continue to deliver value every day. We're focused on security and privacy as built-in components at every level, and we encourage broader adoption and interoperability that lowers barriers for IoT consumers and developers alike. We really enjoy our partnership with the Connected Standards Alliance and look forward to continuing the work with them to achieve our goals in this segment. Thanks, Michelle.
Excellent. Thank you, Jim. And now that we've heard from two key ecosystem and service providers, I think it's an opportunity for us to share a quick video on Matter that talks about interoperability in ecosystems. Let's roll that video.
Matter enables developers to create devices that connect to experiences and ecosystems of users' choice. But there's a really important feature in that statement: ecosystems, as in more than one. With multi-admin, a foundational feature in Matter, users can connect Matter devices to multiple apps and ecosystems locally, securely, and even simultaneously. Right now, choosing the right IoT device can be challenging. Users need to take extra effort to determine if a device they want will work with their ecosystem. And for those smart home users who have more than one preferred app or ecosystem, family members may have different brand preferences for their smart home, mobile, or other control touchpoints. Or they may want to share only specific devices with people in their household or those that visit and take care of it. To enable this today, product developers have to support each other's ecosystem protocols. Users have to manage more complicated purchase experiences, or with multiple ecosystems, navigate setup and account linking across them, where adding a new one is a painstaking process. Today, sharing devices isn't always possible, or requires sharing more information and devices than users want. Multi-admin lets users connect their devices to any Matter-supporting ecosystem they want, whether that's a single product developer's app or multiple smart home platforms. Users can control which devices they share with which systems on an individual level, and can easily add multiple devices to a new ecosystem to try out new experiences. Multi-admin truly delivers on Matter's promise of user choice and interoperability. It lets users choose the brands and devices they love, choose the experience and ecosystem they'll work with, and know that their smart home will be able to grow with them and the choices they make in the future. Matter, it's what connects the world.
Excellent. Now we'll hear from Kevin Poe. Kevin is a senior product manager on the Google Nest team. His focus areas include smart home technologies, and he is Google's product lead for the Matter standards development project. He previously held a variety of engineering and leadership roles within Nest and Google. Kevin is not only on our board, but he also serves as a board alternate for Thread Group. So please, Kevin.
Thanks for the intro, Michelle. Hey everyone, I'm Kevin Poe from Google. At Google, I'm the senior product manager leading our roadmap for supporting Matter devices in our ecosystem. I'm also Google's rep on the Connected Standards Alliance's board of directors, joining over 100 other Googlers engaged in the Alliance to develop Matter. Google is a strong believer in openness, in open standards, open source, and open ecosystems. We've been fortunate to work with individuals and organizations to help organize the world's information and make it more useful and accessible to everyone, based on a foundation of open and standards-based technologies. Just as the web would have not have grown into what it is today if everyone had created different versions of their websites for each browser, the smart home can't grow if every device maker has to build devices that work with each ecosystem protocols. It's why we set out to help create Matter and why we're so excited about its potential. That's why we're investing heavily in its development and supporting in our ecosystem. Because openness helps everyone win, whether that's device makers who can focus less on connectivity and more on creating great user experiences, or ecosystems enabling broader interoperability that gives users more choice on their desired user experience. Matter's multi-admin feature, which you just heard about, takes that openness even further, making user smart homes themselves an open experience and giving the flexibility to use the apps and ecosystems everyone at home wants to use, and even try new ones too. Matter's going to give users more choice whether they have one device or dozens. But openness isn't just about the technology and tools you build and use. It's about how you build and use them. That's why we came together with other leading IoT companies to develop Matter in the Connectivity Standards Alliance. The Alliance brings together a diversity of people across geographies, applications, and expertise to build technologies like Matter. This means that not only will Matter be open, it will also be based on experiences and best practices of many members to meet market needs and be broadly adopted out of the gate. As a company that's both a device maker and ecosystem provider, Google is excited to build great experiences on Matter, and we can't wait to tell you more about them. As we know, Google I/O, our global developer conference, kicks off next week, and we're looking forward to sharing more about how Matter and Google can make your home more helpful. Stay tuned. And back to you, Michelle.
Thanks so much, Kevin. And now I'd like to introduce Samantha Fine Osborne from Samsung Smartthings. Samantha is an award-winning internet executive and entrepreneur with over 25 years experience in scaling brands from early stage through explosive growth with a focus on marketing, go-to-market strategy, and business development. She is currently Vice President of Marketing and Business Operation for Samsung Smartthings, a member of our CSA board, and she also leads our member-driven go-to-market team for Matter. Samantha.
Thanks, Michelle. Hi, I'm Samantha from Smartthings. On behalf of the entire global Smartthings team, we are thrilled to be here after this 18-month journey alongside these and hundreds of other colleagues with whom we've been collaborating on our not-so-secret project, and very excited that we're now able to share the Matter brand with you. Yes, it's hard to believe, but all of these companies really do work this closely together. Even with varying perspectives at times, we really have managed to stay focused and work together on behalf of our shared belief that this collaborative competition will drive smart home industry forward, changing the world forever. As leaders in the IoT industry, Smartthings has been a member of the Alliance for 6 years. And during that time, we've put a lot of value in the role of the Alliance for its leadership and track record of bringing together industry leaders to shape the future of IoT like we see today. You could say that we've grown together with CSA, and we're proud to watch them expand their footprint as industry leaders. We at Smartthings have been pioneers in the smart home industry from the very beginning, and we are known for our open, flexible, and versatile platform. Today, the Smartthings app is available on over 700 million devices to manage over 5,000 smart home products from hundreds of brands. We have always been and will continue to be deeply dedicated to our developers, partners, and consumers. And this is why, on their behalf, we've invested so deeply in the Matter efforts, offering thousands of hours in dozens of groups towards this standard development and lending our historical knowledge to the collaborative Matter initiative. We are very pleased to add Matter to the Smartthings portfolio. The new standard supports our deep belief in customer choice and enables manufacturers to focus their energy on awesome customer experiences instead of basic connectivity. It's true. Matter matters a lot to Smartthings. Together with our partners, we are here on this panel and across a whopping 180 companies, building what we believe will be the de facto standard in every smart home in the world. And this, ultimately, is why Smartthings is dedicated to supporting Matter by integrating the standard fully into our powerful ecosystem while continuing to support our existing protocols. This investment helps us future-proof our offering while staying true to our belief of an open environment and consumer-driven experiences, while at the same time maintaining support for the thousands of products and brands already available within the vast Smartthings ecosystem. It is no doubt that today is an exciting day for all of us, and it's just the beginning of our shared journey. We at Smartthings look forward to sharing more with you as we bring Matter to life. Thanks.
And thank you, Samantha. I love that. Matter matters a lot. Now it's time for another quick video. This time it'll be a little bit about Matter and developers.
Smart home developers have created some incredible experiences for users, but building a smart home device today that works with major consumer ecosystems can be like building your device multiple times. Developers have to integrate with each ecosystem's interface and then keep up with them as they change. And because most of these interfaces are through the cloud, developers have to provide cloud, app, account, and other infrastructure to make those connections. This all adds up to a lot of time, effort, and cost for developers just to get and keep their products connected. Matter changes all of this with a single smart home standard that's being broadly adopted by the industry. Matter makes it easy for developers to build devices that work everywhere with a single effort, and that effort is easier than ever because developers only have to build the pieces they want. Matter enables local connectivity without reliance on apps or cloud services, but it's IP-based and can support multiple efforts like Wi-Fi and Thread, so developers can pick the right technologies for their devices and still build cloud and app connections if their applications need it. Another game changer is that the Matter specification is based on market-proven technologies, best practices in user experience and security, and real-world requirements of our global membership. But it's not just a spec. It's also an open source implementation, tested and validated, and supported by major silicon vendors who are members of the Alliance. This means developers have access to drop-in code, development tools, and of course the Connectivity Standards Alliance rigorous certification program to ensure the devices they build will work everywhere. All this lowers costs, accelerates time to market, and allows developers to focus on building compelling new value and experience for users. Matter. It's the future of reliable connectivity. We can't wait to see what you will build with Matter.
Okay, now I'd like to introduce George Yanni, Head of Technology for Philips Hue at Signify. Signify is the world leader in lighting. Consumers all over the world know their smart lighting products by the Philips Hue and Philips Whiz brands. Signify is a key member of the Alliance board and our Matter steering committee. George joined Signify in 2007, where he was part of the team that founded Philips Hue, and he continues to be responsible for technology, architecture, security, and platform design for smart home lighting systems. George.
Thank you, Michelle, and it's great to be here. Like Michelle said, I'm George Yanni from Signify. We are the largest lighting company in the world, have been pioneers of energy efficient lighting and of lighting in the smart home with our Whiz and Philips Hue brands, where I am the Chief Technology Officer. Lighting is a very special product. It's more or less the only product that's in every single room of our homes and that you interact with every single day. There is so much scope to do things better in your home with the right lighting. It's simply enormous. It has potential to be integrated in anything you do in your home. That's why we've always believed in open ecosystems and that they need to be bigger than one company. Philips Hue and Whiz have been a driving force, not only in the creation of Matter with the rest of the Alliance, but also its adoption as a new industry unifying standard in our products. And we hope that this will bring joy and the potential of seamless interoperability to consumers all over the world. Philips Hue, as the world's most comprehensive smart lighting brand, plans to make all existing and future products spanning innovations over almost the last 10 years, compatible with Matter via a simple software update of our Philips Hue Bridge. That's right, light bulbs that we launched 9 years ago will be Matter compatible by this software update. We remain committed to Zigbee as the solution for bridge to light communication, but plan to endorse and adopt Matter to enable interoperability with other brands. Our Wi-Fi smart lighting brand Whiz is committing to offering all consumers with an accessible plug-and-play experience and is already anticipating the required hardware changes to their products so that when Matter is launched, they will be able to be updated. You'll be able to buy Matter upgradable products as early as Q3 this year, and the full portfolio will transition in 2022. We believe this multi-brand interoperability in the smart home will catalyze the benefits and value of smart lighting worldwide, and we can't wait until it's there. Thanks, Michelle.
And thank you, George. Finally, I'd like to introduce Alex Yang, Alex is the co-founder and COO of Tuya Smart. Since 2015, Alex has been in charge of business operations, international marketing, and global business expansion, and directly responsible for the growth of Tuya here in the US. Before Tuya, Alex had several management roles at Alibaba in areas like marketing, channel management, e-commerce, and mobile payments. Alex has more than a decade of experience in international operations and digital marketing for both internet and manufacturing companies. Alex.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex from Tuya Smart. I'm very excited to join this event and to announce that's our achievement for the past over 100 years. And Tuya has pioneered an IoT cloud platform that delivers a full suite of offerings to business and developers, including IoT PaaS, SaaS, and other value-added services. Our neutral IoT cloud platform enables developers to activate a vibrant IoT ecosystem of brands, OEMs, partners, and end users to engage and communicate through a broad range of smart devices. With the mission of building an IoT developer ecosystem and to enable everything to be smart, Tuya's participation in the important work being done as part of the CSA is incredibly important to us. A core founding principle of Tuya is the belief in the value of an open ecosystem. So the CSA understands this as well as we do, which are the importance of interoperability across devices and brands and industries and the companies. The ability to create massive, reliable, and secure interconnections, and the simplicity for consumers who can easily just buy stuff and get it work together. So by participating in the work group that bring Matter to life, not only will Tuya succeed, but so will all our partners and so will all our customers and end users will benefit from here. Matter enables a new series of capabilities. Developers are empowered to focus on innovation. Brands are empowered to create new experiences. And the consumers are empowered to build a connected life they have been asking for. The smart home isn't about cool new technologies. It's about the interconnection of things and the facilitation of our everyday lives. So which furthermore, we see that commercial applications are an increasingly important part of the global IoT infrastructures. There are increased demand for SaaS solutions across multiple industries like hotels, smart apartments, commercial lighting, and medical facilities, and more. So many of the use cases Matter addresses fit in the commercial spaces that we're excited about. So additional scope assessments being complete to address those needs. But I think the biggest capacity that, in our opinion, the Matter enables is creativity. When you can connect everything, the possibility of whatever you can do with all is possible as part of the CSA and alongside with our collaborative partners will be at the core of this creativity, enabling it on global scale, and it's truly wonderful things to be part of it. Thank you, Michelle.
And thank you, Alex. I know that we had a little bit of break in audio there, but I'm sure you heard the message about creativity and empowering creativity through the development of standards. I now would like to just wrap up with one more quick video, and it does speak to some of the points that Alex mentioned around commercial building. So please, our last video.
Smart home features are increasingly important in the marketability of commercial residential real estate. Matter offers solutions at scale for the people that build and maintain those properties and all of their tenants. To date, it's been hard for builders to invest in value-adding smart home features because they may not be usable by new tenants moving in if their own devices or ecosystems happen to be incompatible, and starting over is a costly undertaking for everyone. Matter solves this by enabling builders and real estate developers to select from a diverse array of popular smart home brands and products that will work with whatever smart home ecosystem, mobile platform, or apps their new tenants move in with. At the facilities level, Matter devices use local IP networks, making it easier to integrate with existing IP-based facility management applications, even at the scale of a sprawling high-rise building. With Matter as a building block for connected systems, facilities teams can choose products from multiple vendors and operate a highly efficient building with real-time visibility into critical facilities data, reducing overhead. This ensures a comfortable and secure environment that gives occupants peace of mind while still being easy to manage. From the building owner to the property manager to the tenant, Matter is improving every aspect of the connected experience. Matter, it's the future of reliable connectivity.
Excellent. Now we're going to shift to our panel discussion with members and Carolina Milanesi. Carolina has over 15 years experience in the consumer technology industry, most recently now with Creative Strategies, where she is president and principal analyst. In 2019, she founded The Heart of Tech. This, her newest endeavor, aims to help technology providers with their corporate social responsibility efforts, where two areas, education and diversity and inclusion, are of particular passion for her. Earlier, Carolina was chief of research at Kantar World Panel Comtech and was with Gartner for 14 years, where she was consumer devices research VP. Carolina is also an oft-quoted industry expert and commentator in business and financial media like Bloomberg and the BBC, and is also a regular contributor to Forbes, Fast Company, and the Italian daily La Stampa. Welcome, Carolina.
Thank you, Michelle, for having me and for the introduction. I'm, as an analyst who has been following the Zigbee Alliance for many years, I'm excited for the rebrand because it's true to who you are and the work that you've been doing for so long, and the importance as well that IoT has today and will continue to grow in the future. As a consumer, I'm excited about Matter because it's going to make my life of going to a store or online to buy products so much easier. And I don't know about you, but this morning I spent about 10 minutes just muting everything that I have in my home office. I'm delighted to have the rest of the panel with me this morning to just talk about the market, you know, the challenges that we have, the expectations that we have. And I want to start with where we are with the market today. You know, what have been the challenges to really get consumers to understand the role that IoT can have in our home, from an industry perspective as well. You know, how do you face interoperability, reliability issues, and the role of the alliance and standard approach to this market. And I am gonna get maybe Kevin to open up.
Sure. I mean, I think like Tobin touched on this one early on, but you know, with the growth of the smart home industry over the past decade, we've had a lot more devices, a lot more ecosystems and such out there. And I think as users have gotten to learn more about the promise of the smart home and making more interoperable, having them connect and speak to each other has been very difficult, right? Like ultimately, in many cases, you might you know, start off with one app, one device, and as you get another app and another device, you need to go through an account linking flow, right? And then from there, you know, as you add more and more, then you add more and more accounts, more linking and such. And ultimately, it gets pretty complicated, right, to try out new experiences. And so the promise of Matter really helps address that core value proposition. And you know, features like multi-admin make it really easy and seamless for users to really just try out new experiences and get that portability and interoperability that they're really looking for. So we're really excited about, I think, across the industry to really deliver this user benefit.
Jim, from a Comcast perspective, you obviously are in a lot of homes in the US. How much does that peace of mind play a role with consumers, and how is Matter helping with that?
Yeah, I think peace of mind is a huge factor, and this is a great question that I think all of us here on the panel today are constantly trying to solve for. And I think the realization that we can do better as a group of companies and participants in building this standard is really what's driving us to come together to create this next generation standard. Yeah, I really think we should continue to focus on the one thing we have to get right, and that's security, right? We can have the best of everything, but if it's not secure and if that isn't something that we can really transmit to users in terms of our seriousness and approach to security-based security with this protocol and everything we do, I don't think that we're going to get very far. And so,
Absolutely.
really making sure that we can innovate on top of that and help users understand what we're doing to secure their devices and their information will be key to moving things forward.
And Samantha, from you're a marketeer, so you're looking at this from a go-to-market perspective and really communicating to consumer your value as a brand, but also being that you're part of the alliance, you clearly believe in standards and interoperability. So where, playing nice with everybody benefits you. Can you talk to me a little bit about how, the market is either being helped by people like yourself believing in that and held back by the people that prefer to just create walled gardens in the market?
Absolutely. It's clear that fragmentation really diminishes our consumers' ability to achieve what they want to achieve. And this speaks even historically when the industry was coming up from a tinkerer industry in a small niche market. What we're trying to solve for and why it's important to communicate with consumers with a united front is really an understanding that exploding this addressable market takes all of us together. And we are indeed better together. And by standardizing, we're able then to focus on our experiences and not worrying a lot less about distraction for developers. And I really think that that's where it all lies in communicating with the consumer. Clearly, what Jim was talking about, security has got to be at the forefront of that, as Tobin's data reflects. And simple interoperability really is how we believe that this can truly affect the way in which every home can become a smart home in the world.
I couldn't agree more. And as a consumer, I want to choose the brand that I prefer based on what they are delivering to me as a value add versus the fact that I'm forced to use a brand because whatever device I have doesn't work with anything else. And that certainly, as an analyst, is something that I talk about with brands quite often. I'm curious if, and I'm going to Chris first with this question. I'm curious to think about the role that Matter is going to play going forward, because obviously the Alliance is being focused on open standards for all its existence, and the focus has been on specification. But now the Alliance is taking a step forward with open source implementation, not just specification. So what do you think the role of that is going to be from the impact that this step is going to take with developers and inventors?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Alexa today helps to generate billions of dollars for the developer and device maker community. But there's definitely more work to be done there. And that's why we're happy that Matter is taking this open source collaborative approach. Our collective work on standards and an open source implementation of them will drive new ways for developers to innovate, to differentiate, and to connect with their customers. For example, with an open source implementation of Matter, device makers can save time by focusing on how their product is different from the competition, rather than on the protocol itself. So it'll lead to more robust devices in the field, since developers can often spend weeks debugging problems that are caused when different implementations of a protocol interact in unexpected ways. Amazon follows a similar strategy in the many SDKs that we provide to device makers today for technologies like Alexa voice services, AWS IoT, Sidewalk, and frustration-free setup. These help device makers to more easily adopt technologies that make for great customer experiences. But for Amazon, we wanted to ensure that Matter would not just be another light bulb protocol. For us, it needs to be a way to bring existing systems together and introduce new device types. So while most smart home protocols today handle plugs and motion sensors pretty well, Matter is interesting to us because it also breaks new ground on device types, like a specification for control of TVs and video player devices. Control of media is one of the most popular uses of Alexa, and screen devices are showing up in more places in the home than ever before as ways to get information and access content. So we're excited about the ways that Matter can enable new kinds of smart devices like TVs and video players, and how access to these devices will enable new experiences for customers, like casting content in a non-proprietary way. So new device types, an open source implementation of the protocol, accessibility to existing devices in the home through Matter certified bridges, We believe that these will combine to provide developers with an exciting environment in which to focus on innovation and differentiated products.
I love what you said about the standard helping to get the basics right so that the brand is focusing on creating differentiated products. I think really that is the core of it. Kevin, there was something that Tobin mentioned in the list of the things that Matter is going to bring to market that caught my attention, which was the multi-admin option. Again, as a user, and I know as an analyst, I'm not like a normal consumer. I'm not normal for different reasons, but I'm definitely not a normal consumer, as I have about 55 connected devices in the home. So not being able to actually have a one-stop way of managing this is a problem. Is that what that multi-admin new feature is aiming to address?
That's exactly it. This is where I think one of the key points as a group that we've discussed is like that fragmentation and that ability to really easily add one or many devices, right, from one experience into another. Right now, it's a very like it really kind of maps like the n number of device types that you have across n number of vendors. And it gets really frustrating, right? Especially once you get past like the 2 to 3 devices. And so the multi-admin feature is intended to make that really seamless. Where if you pick, all the devices that you have that are Matter compliant, you can essentially take all those devices and essentially add new permissions, right, for a new experience, via platform or app, whatever the user chooses to really interoperate with it, and also the ability to remove too, from a security perspective. So we really want to make this really simple, straightforward. And I think like the points from other speakers too, really up-level experience, right, where we're either partnering or competing on the overall the value user experience, and we're really making this set up interoperability aspect really kind of just the base foundation, right, of what the connected home is going forwards.
Yeah, the sooner the better for me.
We're all excited about it, so can't wait to share more once we have the implementation ready for different device makers, ecosystems to begin integrating with.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get roadmaps detail. Alex, you talked about in your introductory comments, you talked about the importance of innovation and invention and creativity. How much does this new open source implementation help at a more inclusive, if you like, way from a developer perspective? So being more international, so that it's not just the developer in one specific market, but really, addressing IoT at a worldwide level, because it is a worldwide phenomenon. It might differ in what devices we have, but there's certainly appetite across the globe.
Yeah, correct. Till now that we're already onboarded over 262,000 developers on our platforms and enabled over 250,000 different type of devices in over 1,000 categories, and which enable over 2,700 brands. So without our developer community worldwide, we can never achieve so far. So from the beginning that we believe that we have said that you can only be global when you can become local. So we call it local strategy is what we're looking forward to. I think that those three key will be mentioned is that accessibility, flexibility, and simplicity. So the first one is that the technology has to be accessible. So for all those type of developers worldwide, so that's why we're starting to deploy different region teams in the States, in China, in Japan, in Singapore, in India. So we provide the local teams to understand the language, understand how they're developing things, what kind of toolkits that they get used to, and to provide accessible technology and portal to them. And the second one is that for those developers, when we think about IoT, it's about innovation. So it's not about maybe one box or one single devices. It will become from many type of devices. So we have to be able to provide enough flexible options for those developers. Whatever they want to build, you break down those into the small factors, provide more option to them, and let them to be able to fill in themselves. So a very flexible platform, it will be needed. So we provide them different type of features. So it's like a Lego. They play Legos. They just design what they need to do, and they don't understand how they do that. We provide them the technology as a feature. And the third one is the simplicity. The flexibility can create more chaos because people might, like the small mat in the mice, they don't know how to work out that. So the simplicity will be needed both for the business and for the consumers. For the business is that the developers somehow they get lost about 1,000 of features. They don't know how to put that together. So we provide a very unique full stack solution for them, provide a no code or low code experience for anyone. If they want to do any programming, they can have the full stack from Tuya alone, have their own software system done without programming anything. But also we provide an entire total set of the open API, SDK, MCU kit, etc. All type of toolkit for them. If they want to create anything upon our infrastructures, we give them entire tools. So no matter they are the expert of IoT or they are the, just the freshman for IoT, they can always work out something. But in simplicity for the end users, like the Samantha mentioned, that if you are end users, nobody wants to have the 50 devices in my home and none of them work with each other and they have to install 50 apps. It kills people.
That's
so
right.
simplicity that, yes. So from the beginning, when Tuya built that, into your platform, all things work together across different type of protocol, across different type of hardware platform, across different number of devices type or brands. So anything can work together under the same unique and generic application infrastructures. So which means that anything powered by Tuya can use in one app with one unified user experience. So simplified end users experience, that's another part we're looking forward to. So through that, we provide enough options for people, offer them free to choose, and also provide a very single way to use.
That's awesome. I know you all touched on trust and security, and Tobin said, at the beginning that obviously building trust with consumers is super important right now. I want to go to George with a question because probably people don't think about light bulbs as something that they need to, keep secure. But how do you strike the balance between raising awareness of the importance of securing IoT-enabled devices without instilling fear in the consumers?
Yeah, I think the way you said it is right. Security and privacy are actually a matter of trust.
No pun intended.
And,
I see what you did there with the name.
and you don't, you get trust, but it's very easy to lose it. And actually, it only takes a few vulnerable products across the whole industry for the whole industry to lose that trust. So everybody has to do an excellent job to maintain that trust with their products. Now, at Signify, we take security and privacy, extremely seriously. We have dedicated security and privacy teams to make sure that we're always doing the right things to maintain that trust. But yeah, not all companies or brands have that choice or that option. And I think here Matter will actually really help because it sets the right security technologies and standards to use in the smart home. It sets the right user interactions for how you set up and think about giving access to things in your home. And it also has the open source implementation, which makes sure you have a great starting point of the right way of actually building your software to make sure it is secure and taking care of privacy from the beginning. And all of these things will really help raise the bar across the whole industry for security and privacy and safeguard that trust that actually, I think the last years we've been doing a better and better job of building with our consumers.
Yeah, and I think what is interesting to me as a user is that you need to understand that sharing some information makes the product that you're using better, right? And so if you have that trust in the company, you're going to be more willing to share that data so that what you get back in return is going to be more tailored to you and better suiting your needs. If I'm not picking on Amazon just because it's been on the news on this topic, but I will. So Chris, how obviously you've done a lot from a privacy and security perspective, from really talking to consumers and teaching consumers what is going on with Alexa, how it works, when it's connected to the cloud, when it's not. What else are you thinking about doing other than basically delivering on the promise that you make to your customers?
Sure. Well, I mean, first I'll say, I mean, at Amazon, we take privacy and security of our customers' personal information extremely seriously. This is what drives us to deliver multiple layers of privacy protection in our devices and our services. So we've developed technical measures, and we have full teams dedicated to ensuring the safety and security of our products. So we have a responsibility to build in the controls and the transparency that you all have been mentioning. These allow customers to understand what their security and privacy options are and to make informed decisions based on that knowledge. We've continued to deliver and educate customers on security and privacy controls. And we really do believe that the transparency and control over your devices and your data is critical to building the trust. And as George said, this is something that you have to work hard at every single day to maintain. Matter follows a similar approach with respect to transparency. I mean, that's what you get with the open source implementation and its adoption of modern, widely used best practices for security.
I love that. I could not agree more that transparency is the first step towards building trust for sure. I want to switch gear a little bit, and something else that Tobin mentioned that really goes as a hot topic right now after privacy and security is about equity, sustainability, and inclusivity. When you're thinking about products, what is both the role of the Alliance in making sure that the products that you're bringing to market are inclusive, sustainable, and, you know, especially from an IoT perspective, look at, I love what he said connect more and waste less. How do you think about products from an implementation perspective, and what is something that is coming with Matter that will simplify your development process, or you know, the ability to create better sustainable products? And I think I'll go to Sam first with this question, and then I want to hear from George, because you talked about in your introduction about how energy efficient your products are.
Thank you. I think there's a lot to the idea of sustainability and our collective responsibility in really making sure that the footprint that we leave in what we're building for the future is incredibly important. At Smartthings, this is an incredibly important part of what we do, even from an upcycling sustainability perspective that we recently announced. It's very important to understand that what we have today, many of our devices will be backwards compatible for future proofing. That is a key piece of where we're focused here, as well as like really understanding that in order to maintain sustainability for the future, we have to understand what we've done in the past. And by bringing all of these big brands together to ensure that together we are able to defend really what security means, what sustainability means, I think that's part of what's unique about what the Alliance has done in bringing this group together specifically.
And George, from your perspective, clearly sustainability is something that has been top of mind for Philips Hue from the beginning.
Yeah, so I mean, Signify has been pioneers of energy efficient lighting. We launched the first energy efficient LED replacement bulbs, for example, over a decade ago. And so we really pride ourselves on the low environmental impact of our products. Now, what the CSA does is, I think, acts as an enabler for what is a next wave of convenience, but that also brings possibilities for further reducing that environmental impact. Ultra low energy radio protocols like Zigbee, like Thread, which Matter will support, mean that adding connectivity to light bulbs, but also any other product, has a very minor impact on its overall energy consumption. And that impact is very easily won back by the automation possibilities you have to make sure the product is only using energy when it needs to. Another key thing, and it plays into a bit what Chris said earlier, Matter we don't think about as, just another next standard. Often when new standards are introduced, it means that products become obsolete. And that's why we're really proud that we've been able to future-proof our Philips Hue products by making the Matter compatible via an update of our bridge.
Yeah, and that's always a concern with consumers for sure. When there's a new standard or a new logo that is put on devices, it raises question as far as the longevity of the products that they already have in their home. I'm curious. I have 6 people in front of me. We're all coming from different places. You are fierce competitors at times. You're partners at others. What does it take to bring this group of people and all the other partners into the alliance to really sit down at a table and prove people wrong that, inventing by committee does actually work, because you've done so. And apart from a sense of humor, because I know that that's clearly a big component. So Jim, can you tell me from your perspective, what are the ingredients to success?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really starts with commitment first, right? So seeing the opportunity and making sure that we do the right things to earn the trust of the consumers and continuously protect that trust over time is really what's bringing these companies to the table. The notion that we see these issues and we know we can do better, as I said before, really drives participation. And it's created some amazing collaboration across the team. I think, you're right that sometimes we compete with each other, but on almost every issue, we can step back from that and really take the perspective of the people that will be using these products in their homes. We're some of those people as well. And we want to make sure that everything is done properly and done in a way that we can all live with. Most certainly, though, from the user's perspective over the long term.
That's great. We have about 5 minutes left before I'm going to hand over this to Tobin for closing remarks and what's next. And I'm curious what you all excited about, next 12 to 18 months when it comes to IoT, bringing new products that have the Matter logo on them. What are you thinking? And if you can all kind of keep this to like a minute each, is 6 of you, we're just going to go over by a few seconds. I'm sure I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm going to start with Alex.
Okay, yeah. I think that we saw a lot of excitement in the past few years, And I have to mention 2. The first one is that what we see that penetration of a smart home is likely to went to a turning point. And because of the special situation, and we spend much more time in home in the past year than ever. So we stay in the home for a long time with people starting to search for the beauty of home and search for the new way to improve the home living. So I think that more and more people are starting to looking for and starting to enjoy the smart things that bring them into life, smart devices helping them the home lives. And the second one, the exciting things about is IoT is that what we see is that IoT is starting to power more than just homes. We're paving way in industries like the energy management, healthcare, education, hotel management, property management, and more. So we found more and more verticals. Right now, their pain points, maybe for over decades, starting to be solved by IoT, and more IoT innovations starting to deliver some solution to them. So by making things simple, right now we're diving deep into some verticals, bring some SaaS solutions from the vertical industries, and we see more and more opportunity out there, and more stuff that IoT can help.
Yeah, more simple. Samantha, what about you?
It's such a great question, right? And it's true that our collaborative competition really is driving this entire industry forward. We've worked for 18 months with incredible passion, really extraordinary, thoughtful, thought leadership-driven debates. And I think what we're most looking forward to in the next 18 months from a Smartthings perspective is adding to to what we've already been doing for our partners and consumers and our very important developers, and making sure that we are so deeply invested in the future of what they're going to build. So yes, Matter products are coming to market, and we are really excited to host them on the Smartthings platform, but we are equally excited to see how developers and consumers are going to use them.
Absolutely. Kevin?
Yeah, happy to touch on briefly, but we're, like, I think from the Google perspective, we're just really really excited to deliver more value for the user ultimately, right? Giving them more choice around interoperability, the way that they want to control it with the platforms and ecosystems and apps that they choose, and especially for our developers, really reducing key pain points for them. This could be time to market, cost, improving security and quality for both device makers and users. We have a really interesting opportunity, with Matter to really deliver these overall benefits. So we're just really excited to just see as the standard evolves and matures, developers and users, adopting and integrating this technology, and kind of seeing it really kind of up level like the overall experience for everyone.
That's great. Yeah, cost. We don't talk about that very often, but clearly, that's part of the equity discussion as well. George.
Yeah, what I'm most excited about in the next 12 to 18 months is how we will enter an era where it has never been easier to combine information and control for all this myriad of different kinds of devices inside your home. And I really expect that all the companies here and the many, many more that will use Matter will surprise us with new ways of using that information, that control, to create these magical experiences and make living in our homes easier and happier than before. So I'm really excited to see what will happen there.
Yeah, less information, doing more with less information is like connecting more with wasting less. Jim, what about you?
I think, mirror the comments that my co-panelists have already stated. One of the big driving factors that I think is, it's already been stated, but that we're really excited to see is just the fact that this is all based on an open source project that is code forward, right? The ability of that to really drive interoperability and compatibility across the ecosystems that these devices will be working with is going to be something that I don't think we've experienced as an industry yet.
Yeah.
And it's going to lead to some amazing innovations, and hopefully we'll get to a spot where devices will just work together in the way that I think consumers have a right to expect that they should work together on an everyday basis. And really excited about that, and getting the Matter protocol supported on our millions of existing gateways in homes in the future.
That's great. And Chris, you're going to close us off.
Well, Amazon's always been focused on removing friction for customers, whether it's buying a book or accessing on-demand computing power. That's why ambient computing, which is technology that's always available to make life easier and better without getting in the way, is our North Star for all of our devices and services. So we believe that your life can be made better with predictable technology that's always available and works equally well for everybody, and works intuitively, and is built with privacy and security at the foundation. And while we absolutely believe in the power of a voice interface, we also believe the future of the ambient home is one that lets you speak to Alexa less. So customers, in our view, want their home to work harder for them, with devices that are simple to buy, easy to set up, and intuitive to use. They want devices that are affordable, always secure, and that respect their privacy. Our research tells us that home buyers will pay more for an Alexa smart home, and we want to help customers to get such a home. They don't want to think about the technology, they want to enjoy the benefits.
Absolutely. Thanks. I don't want to think about the tech. I just want to enjoy what the tech is able to provide me. I just have enough time to say thank you so much for this conversation, and looking forward what you all are going to bring to market under the new Matter protocol. And I'm going to hand it back to Michelle. Thank you.
And thank you, Carolina and panelists. That was really great. Really appreciate that. We just have a few minutes remaining, so I'm going to hand it back over to Tobin for some closing remarks. Tobin, to you.
Thanks, Michelle. And thank you, Carolina, so much for that. Really appreciate it. And I've just been sitting here listening to the discussion points. And one of the first books that we buy any new team member for the Zigbee Alliance is a group, is a book called Enchanted Objects by David Rose. I happened to create a company called Ambient Devices, and it really gets to that point. This technology is just supposed to work in the background, right? You're focused on better living, right, and a better connected world and the value that delivers. And it's really through these incredible companies, 6 terrific leaders who joined us today, and great moderation from Carolina that really kind of shows that. Jim Kitchen talked about how important it is that we all work together, collaborative competition. And hey, we will make missteps, we will have hiccups along the way. We are learning all the time, and that's what happens when you get great companies together, great minds together to really achieve what we're trying to get done through Matter, and as part of the Connectivity Standards Alliance, and that's all natural. So what's important there, as was stated, is that everybody has the same commitment to consumers. And delivering that value, each in their own ways, each in their own experiences that they're delivering. And you've got some great companies here. You've got hundreds of great companies that you're not even seeing today that are behind the scenes, that are building products and going to be bringing even more products. So it's a really exciting time. I'm really grateful to the member companies and to Carolina for the great insights today. As a couple of wrap-up items, as Michelle mentioned, I do want to remind everyone that our membership continues to drive forward with a number of key initiatives in 2021 and beyond. So you'll continue to hear from us. Matter devices, again, targeted for end of year 2021, with about 30 companies identified as early adopters. Check out the press release for those. Additional device types for Matter are being considered by our marketing and product subgroups. Of course, this is a foundational technology and standard. This will continue to evolve. We'll keep adding to it and expanding the reach of that. That's the goal of Matter. That's the goal of the organization in CSA. Our Zigbee working group has new developments and releases upcoming, so keep an eye out for those, as well as other new development areas within Zigbee. And members are looking to invest in additional areas where the IoT would benefit from greater standardization. So you'll see some new working groups come up that are already in the works. We'll have some more press releases on that in the weeks ahead. And as we further step out onto the world stage and are a little bit more visible in public, you'll see the Alliance more engaged with the World Economic Forum on initiatives related to trustworthy IoT, strengthening collaboration across the IoT industry stakeholder group. And so we're really excited about that work ahead. So as we move forward, I want to thank you all for spending time with us today. Especially the media and analyst attendees. Thank you so much for joining us. And we've shared some pretty big news, a new Alliance brand reflective of our vision, our members' work, and our future outlook. Our new Matter brand, the foundation of connectivity for the IoT, a feature complete base spec ratified and certified devices by end of 2021. That's pretty impressive. That's really incredible. And new work on the horizon. So again, thank you all for joining today. I again want to thank Carolina for her graciousness in facilitating our panel, and especially for all our members for their generosity today, regardless of time zone. We had a global reach. Our organization is global. Our standards are global. So you've got folks from every part of the world on today, and really appreciate that. So again, thank you for being part of this moment with us. I really appreciate it, and have a great day. Michelle, back to you.
And so it was, in fact, time we connect, and it's because we here at the Alliance know, and now we hope that you know too, that standards do matter. We want to thank you again for attending, and thank you for your time, and we wish everyone a wonderful day.